guys, Samantha from Jessima Tutorials here, and today I'm going to show you how to create a easy crackle effect without the use of a heat gun. So here is my test piece, and it's probably what's going to be the back of our earrings, and I'm going to show you how to make this. Now, what you're going to need is some polymer clay. I am using pretty much today white, burnt umber, turquoise and cadmium red are the colours that I have chosen, but you can use any colours you want. Put the white to the side for now, we're not going to be using that, that's going to be our main back colour. For now you want to work with your three accent colours, and you want them to be as soft as physically possible. You can mix some liquid clay into them, or I personally use a Kato conditioning block, that works well. You can also mix some oils into them, but that is a last resort if you can't get hold of the liquid clay or the Kato conditioning block. Now, another thing you're going to need is a tile of some sort, mostly one that is going to be able to fit in your oven. I'm using a ceramic tile, and all you're going to do is you're going to take your colours, tiny little pieces at a time. You're going to take that and you're going to smear that across the tile, and what you're going to be doing by doing that is creating really thin smudges of clay, smudges that even if you did bake them in the oven for the full recommended time, won't hold together. They're going to be quite brittle, and your goal is to make it as thin as physically possible, because that's what's going to give you the best crackle. Now you want your oven preheating at this time, and you're going to put this into the oven when you're done doing this part for about 2 minutes, just to set the clay. You want it so that it's no longer soft at all, but you don't want it to be baked fully. And all you're going to do is just take your colours and you're going to mix them together. I want turquoise to be the main colour, and that's why I've put it down first. And then I'm going to pop in some red, and you can apply as much or as little clay as you want. It's completely up to you, and just continue doing this until you are happy with your result. Okay, and I had to swap to a different tile because the one that I tested it on is over to the side and isn't the one that I record on, and is a much smoother, glossier tile, and it was working on that. Then I swapped over to my recording tile, which has a little bit of a texture to it, and the clay just wasn't sticking to it. So if this technique isn't working for you and you find that things aren't sticking, try out different surfaces. You might find that it's your surface that's making it a little difficult, so don't give up on the first try. But anyway, I used a smoother tile and I've just smeared all the colours together. Don't worry if you've got a number of breaks in between the pieces, that's part of the effect. Point is, you want it to be nice and thin. Then you're going to pop that straight into your oven for about 2 minutes, just to get it slightly cured. You don't want it in there for too long. And then when it comes out, it shouldn't be sticky to the touch anymore. You should be able to run your hand over without it sticking or trying to drag. And then you're ready to move on to the next step. Make sure that this is cool before you move on to the next step though, because you don't want to cure the white clay when we put it on. Okay, and here it is. And it's still a touch warm, but it's pretty much cooled down. I can hold it, it's not too hot to the touch. Then I'm going to bring over our white, and I'm going to put that down onto my piece, and I'm going to just use a piece of paper to just burnish that down, because I want it to stick to the clay. I want the top piece to stick to the bottom piece, that is. And that's why I've left it a little warm, so that it makes the white a little softer. You just don't want it hot to the touch, because then it might cure your white. But a little bit warm's not a problem. And then just burnish that down well, so that you stick the two pieces together. Okay. Then grab a blade and we're going to try to make one clean sweep across. So I'm just going to start. And that should pick up a majority of the clay on the bottom, on the tile, that is. Okay. And there we go. And then we should be able to crackle this. So let me just show you how it looks. And it already looks quite cool the way it is. It is kind of reminiscent of almost paint in a way. So you could keep it exactly like this if you wanted, but we want to crackle this. So now I'm going to stretch this across. And you can see we're getting a bit of a crackle pattern there. And this one I put in for 2 minutes. The one that I showed you before at the beginning of this video, I put in for about 4 minutes, so the crackle will be stronger. This one I wanted to have a finer crackle. So if you want a fine crackle, put it in for less time. If you want a thicker, hardier crackle, then put it in for longer. And let me just bring that over. You can see how that looks. Now, it is going to vary each time around. You can't guarantee how it's going to look, but that's just about how it goes. I'm going to place this down because I want this to be my backing. Okay. And I'm going to trim off this top piece because we didn't get so much of a crackle over here. And trim off around here. And the thing is, because we've got so little clay that has been cured, you can just use the scrap clay like you normally would. There's no problem with using that. The crackle, the semi-cured clay isn't going to cause a problem. Okay, there we go. And then you've got 2 pieces. I'm going to trim away the extra on the back here. There we go. And then I'm going to stretch it out a little more. And that will accentuate the crackle. There we go. Okay, I just want to give you a close-up on how that looks. Quite like how that looks. It's different from the other crackles that I've done in the past. Now I'm going to just pop that down, and I am going to just burnish it so that it's stuck to the tile. And now you could use this however you wanted. I'm going to be making a pair of earrings, and so I'm going to be using a silk screen to add a little something to the top. Any silk screen will work. This is just the one that I've chosen. And again, these are my own silk screens that I designed, so if you're interested in them, there's a link in the description below. But again, any texture or, excuse me, silk screen you want will work. Just go burnish that over the top. Okay. I'm just going to add a little bit of black paint. I don't have much left in that one, but that should be enough. And I'm also going to add a bit of brown. And this is just acrylic paint. There we go. Okay. Then use a card or a silk screen swipe to swipe the paint across the surface, like so. Then lift. And clean your screen off in some water immediately. Okay, and there we go. And you want the paint to be dry before you move on to the next step. Just lift that up and show you how that looks. Okay. And I'm going to keep it on the tile until I've cut out the pieces. Just give it a light burnish so that the clay won't stick in the cutters and will stay stuck to the tile. Then choose any cutter that you want. This is the one I'm going to be using. It's just a rectangle. cut out one piece and cut out another. And so the crackle forms a nice accent to the piece. It's not as dramatic as some of the crackles you can achieve with a heat gun, but I think it looks quite nice. So I thought it was an interesting crackle to show you. Now I'm going to pop these into the oven for a full hour at Polymer's recommended temperature to make sure that the clay is completely cured, and then when they are done you can finish them off. We've got paint on them, so probably going to need to seal them, though paint when it's baked in the oven on the clay for a fair amount of time, it generally doesn't need to be sealed, so we won't necessarily have to, but we'll see. And then I'm going to make a pair of earrings from them. Okay, and also before I put those in the oven, I'm going to use the scrap that I have here, and I'm actually going to cut out some toppers, and I'm just going to be using this little mini circle here. There you go. Now remember to pat it down onto the tile this time so it doesn't stick. And it's still stuck, that's fine. But then I'll cut out a couple of toppers. And there we go. So those are the toppers I chose from the ones that I cut out. Now I'm going to bake them for a full hour at Polymer's recommended temperature. I just thought they would look nice with the little crackle toppers on top. That's up to you whether you want to do that or not. Okay. And once they're out of the oven and have finished cooling, we can move on to drilling them. Now these have come out of the oven. I don't think I want to seal them because I really do like the matte effect that we've got on the piece, and the paint, it's been baked on, it's on there solidly, if that's a word. But you don't have to seal the paint, and we've just got clay under here. There's no other effects like mica powder or inks that we have to worry about, so you're good to not worry about sealing them. Now to drill them, I'm just going to use a pin drill, nice and easy, and I generally, when I have a image on the front, will drill from the back, just because I find it easier to center the piece, or the hole anyway. That's personal preference, but all you do is you pop that onto the clay, spin, and you should pop through and have a hole in no time. And just go through once or twice just to make sure it's a nice clean hole. And then you would do the same for the other little round one, which I've drilled the holes for that one already. Then you're going to have a ear wire and 2 jump rings. I'm using antique copper because I think that goes nicely with the colour that I've got going on in the earrings. And all you do is you just open that up and attach your 2 polymer clay pieces. This can be a little fiddly. There we go. Close that up, and then you can attach your ear wire next. And I don't know why this is giving me trouble, so bear with me for a moment. Okay, and there we go. It just took me a little bit to get that closed. Had to bring it up closer so it was out of the camera's range. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I already did the other piece, and yeah, you've got some nice double-sided earrings because we have the other side where we didn't put the silk screen on, so that's how it would look if you didn't use a silk screen. So you can see both sides look quite nice. But yeah, that's basically how you can create an easy crackle without any additional tools. Let me know if that was helpful to you and if you have used that technique before. And again, thank you for watching the tutorial. If you would like to continue supporting this channel, please do consider becoming a patron. There is a link in the description below. And again, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.